Alright, let's talk. As a wedding and portrait photographer, I spend hours obsessing over every little detail in my images. You know how it is. We're insanely picky about our work, and we will sit behind a computer for way longer than we need to get every detail perfect. But that all kind of changed for me overnight when I started using EVOTO. What's up? My name is Jay LeBlanc, wedding photographer and photo video educator. Now, to tell you the truth, I don't obsess over every single image that leaves my computer and gets delivered to my clients. But the ones that are getting printed, now those get looked over with a fine-tooth comb, and I obsess over every little detail because I want to make sure that the prints come out as good as possible. And sometimes I spend way more time than I actually need to in Lightroom, Photoshop, or whatever editing software that I need to get the job done. But with EVOTO, it's my one-stop shop. With a couple clicks of a few different sliders, in a few seconds, maybe a minute, I'm done. And stick around to the end of the video and I'll tell you how I do it even faster. But before I go any further, I need to tell you right now that everything I'm about to show you in this video, you can do yourself. You can go download EVOTO completely for free and try out everything that I am showing you. And you don't have to pay for anything. You only have to pay in EVOTO when you want to export a picture. But I'm dropping a link down below that'll get you 15 free credits, which you can use for exporting pictures from EVOTO. So thank you to EVOTO for hooking up all my viewers and sponsoring this video. Now let's get into this. Now, a quick note before we jump in. If I were to show you every feature in EVOTO, this video would be well over 5 hours long. So I decided I'm going to just show you the features that are most useful to me as a wedding and portrait photographer and somebody who does headshots quite often. And I'll note on some of the other really cool features as we go through. Let's check it out. All right, jumping right into EVOTO. I've already loaded in a couple pictures for us to play with, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite most used features. We're going to start right off in our portrait retouching. So as you can see, inside of portrait retouching, we have blemish removal, skin retouching, facial reshape, facial expression, teeth, eyes, makeup, hair, hands, and full body reshape. And at the very top, we have a couple different categories. We have female, male, child, elderly female, elderly male, individual, and all. That's because if we were to deal with multiple people in this picture, we have the ability to select who we want to alter. For this image in particular, we're only dealing with a male and a female, a bride and a groom. So for these examples, I'm gonna leave it either on male or female. So right off the bat, one thing that I noticed about this picture with our male over here, our groom, that his skin is a little red. For whatever reason, maybe he was drinking, maybe he's warm, maybe he's a little nervous because it's his wedding day, but his skin is red and it's not normally like that. So let's fix it for him. So I'm actually going to go into skin retouching and we're going to go to this awesome feature right here called AI Face Complexion. And I'm going to slide this slider up and look at that. It takes the redness away. That simple. But it's leaving him looking a little ghosty. So let's help him out and get his skin tone back a little here. Now we can go ahead and make him really tan, but that's not what he naturally looks like. We could click this though, and if we look at our before and after, we'll zoom in. It got rid of all that redness and did a really good job evening out his skin tones. But we can still make it better. We can scroll down over here and go to rosy complexion, and we can turn it up, which we don't want to do because we want to take the redness away, and we'll bring it down just a little bit. So looking at our before and after again, you can see it's doing a fantastic job. Now let's take a look at her. So we're going to click on individual. I'm going to show you how maybe we don't know if it's a male or a female. We can individually select which person we want, and it does it by showing a little box around their face. So for this example, I'm just going to show you it this way. Now what I want to do is go into blemish removal. And right here we have freckles and acne. As a wedding and portrait photographer, I believe if something is on your face 365, 24/7, it stays. But if it's something that's temporary, whether it be a cut, a scratch, a pimple, we're getting rid of it. So let's take a look right here. We're going to take our freckle slider and we're going to slide it all the way up. We'll go to 100. But like I said, freckles, they stay. Acne, not so much. So let's bring some of those freckles back in, and then we can just dial our acne up and down. Pretty cool. I love that. Now, this image, I love it. I think it looks super cool. It was shot outside in a cloudy condition. So you can see she really doesn't have much light going into her eyes. He does because he was looking out into the open sunlight area. She doesn't because she was looking right at the camera where I was, where there wasn't much light at all. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open our eye slider right here, and we're going to raise our brightness up a lot. You can see it looks a little too much, so I'm going to dial it back. But then we have catch lights down here. We have general and indoor. So general are more so outdoor settings, flashes, stuff that you would see outside. And then we have indoors, which would mimic indoor lighting. Because we shot this outside, let's go with one of these. Look through them. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, I really like that one. That's cool. See the before and after. Just a little catch light in her eyes helps really draw you into her. And then one last thing that I want to do for both of them in the picture, we're going to go into our skin retouching again, and here we have even, dodge, and burn. So we're going to slide that all the way up, and as you can see, what it's doing here is it's just evening out skin tones a lot. With her, she had her makeup done, she looks pretty good. With him, you can see it being a little bit more affected, especially in his beard. I really like that, actually. I wanted to show you this particular image because how well it handles facial hair. And it just handles that splotchiness where it may just be a little patchy. It helps just make it look more uniform. Cool, let's take a look at another image here. This is one of my friends, and he knew that I was going to do this to him. But before we get started, what do you think he does for work? I'll give you 3 seconds in the comments. 2, 1. Did you say a narc? Because he definitely looks like a narc. But he's not. He's a real estate agent. And he sells homes on an island by the beach. So, very fitting headshot for him. But what we're going to do is we're going to help him get a little bit prettier. Maybe somebody will finally swipe right on him on Tinder. I'm just kidding. He's married. Sorry, ladies. First thing I want to do with him is go right here to our skin retouching and our dodge and burn. We're going to just even out that skin a little bit. And right off the bat, we're already such a dramatic difference. And all we did is some dodging and burning to just make those skin tones look a little bit more even. We didn't actually do any softening here. We're just doing a little dodging and burning here to make those skin tones look a little bit more even. We are going to jump back into blemish removal and check out some of these other features that it has to offer. First being reduce face shine. Now I don't want to drag it all the way to 100 and get rid of all the shine because I like some of that because it helps give a little dimension to the face. So we're going to leave that right around 50. Dark circles. Let's help him out. He didn't sleep that well the night before, so we're going to drag those dark circles up. I'm probably going to leave that right around 70. That looks pretty good. Eye bags, how we doing? A little bit of eye bags going on, and I think the little bit that this slider did is the perfect amount of retouching. Then we have the next one with lip wrinkles and flakes. This is a great one for people with dry lips. Maybe you didn't use enough moisturizer. Got you covered. Up next, double chin. Sorry, brother, you got it. We're going to get rid of it for you. Just like that. I think that looks so much better than what other programs are currently offering in terms of removing a double chin. Because a lot of other programs are using some weird liquefy actions to just help get rid of a double chin. This, on the other hand, it looks like it's doing more dodging and burning. It's not really removing what's there, it's just changing the lighting to help make it less noticeable. And the next thing we're going to go to is our forehead wrinkles. We got rid of that line, nice and easy. And then we're going to go down, eye wrinkles. Now with eye wrinkles, if we drag them all the way up, it's going to get rid of them completely. I think everybody naturally has a little bit of a wrinkle next to their eye when they're smiling, for the most part. So we're going to leave it in there a little bit. Then we're going to come on down to our neck wrinkles. My man's got some neck wrinkles going on, gone. And then maybe because we got a little bit of razor burn going on in the neck, we'll come back up here to the freckles and acne. We'll drag that slider up, help take care of some of that. And there we go. Now, my man is ready to sell you a home. Just like that. All right, up next, we're gonna switch gears for a minute. We got my golden retriever puppy. And this little guy is adorable. We did a photo shoot for his first birthday, and I had to test out some of my lighting because I have some ideas for a new headshot. Because I do a lot of headshots for people. It's not glorious, it's nothing fancy, it pays the bills. But I do a lot of headshots. But with EVOTO, it has a super cool feature. So often when I'm shooting a headshot, unless it's chest to head, I'm getting a little bit of the background in there, especially if I have to shoot horizontal. Every company is different, every person's different, they want their headshot done a different way. So I either have to extend that background somehow, usually in Photoshop, or I have to kind of fake it, get rid of my lights, do a lot of editing, do a lot of retouching. And I'll tell you, I edited this picture to remove my lights in Photoshop and use those AI features that Photoshop has, and it probably took 5-ish minutes. Not too bad, right? But when we're doing this at scale for 20, 30, 100 people, it might take a really long time if we're doing 5 minutes per picture, because the AI generative fill is kind of slow. But check this out. We're going to come into EVOTO. We're going to go into our background adjustments, distraction removal. Get ready. Are you sure you're ready? Click. Gone. What? No, I did not edit the speed of this video at all. That's how fast it happens. It got rid of everything distracting in the background that fast. It honestly blows my mind how quickly that happens. And then another cool feature it has is unify lighting. Turn that on, makes the background lighting very nice and even in case we have any gradients going on across the background. Done. There is my headshot for my puppy, done in seconds. I really wish I had this when I did this full shoot. All right, up next we have a picture of a gentleman who is the MC at an event that I did. And if you look at his face, we have glasses on with a very strong blue reflection going right across it. Now look at this. Remove glasses glare. Take the slider to 100, go. Just like that. It's honestly mind-blowing how fast that this works, because so many softwares have AI built into them, but they're slow. EVOTO is instant. It is crazy how quick it works. Now I want to show you another picture of my wife here where we can go into hair, and we're going to take a look at her hair. She's got some flyaways going on here, a lot of them, but EVOTO's got you covered. Stray hair removal, slide that up, gone, fixed. And it's not just the stray hair removals that are kind of flying away from her head. Let me turn this back off. I want you to pay attention to this area right here. You have a lot of like wisps, like individual hair that just look like they don't belong. Well, we move this slider all the way up again, and it looks like we just brushed her hair. It's honestly so cool. And you know what? If my wife ever decides that she wants to dye her hair, and she wants to see what it looks like before she gets it dyed, I got her covered. Green, no problem. Red, maybe not red for you, honey, but maybe purple's your color. Yeah, no, sorry. But if you want to show somebody what their hair looks like before they dye it, you can do it very easily. And remember, this feature is free, so you can just go look at what it would happen. You don't have to export it. You can just see what your hair would look like a different color. This isn't necessarily a feature I would use. It's just fun to play with, honestly. Next up, we have a picture of, hey, I know this guy. I think I've seen him on YouTube a time or two. We got a picture of me of an image that I shot for a thumbnail from an old video. If you take a look at it, all you see is the clutter going on behind me in my office. Well, guess what? Once again, EVOTO's got you covered. We're going to go ahead and check out Backdrop Changer. I'm going to click on this one because it's my favorite. That quickly, it looks like it was shot in a studio on a nice, clean background. I could switch it to white or black or so many different options, honestly. But that quickly, we can just change the background of an image. And I'm going to turn this off for a second, and I'm going to show you just clean backdrop. And if you look right here on the wall, there's a nail because it's holding up a picture when I'm not doing headshots for myself. And all it's doing is trying to reduce the contrast there. And I think this is going to be super useful in a situation where you might be shooting against seamless and it has a little bit of that wavy wrinkleness going on and it's not the cleanest. This is where it's going to clean that up for you. And while we're on the topic of changing backgrounds, let's check this out. Over here we have sky replacement. Now, I don't typically do this for wedding and portrait pictures, but if somebody were to be like, hey, I absolutely love this picture, but it was super gray and ugly outside. You think you can add in a nicer sky? Sure can. One click, done. Look at that. Absolutely, I could do that in about 0.4 seconds. Crazy. while we're here, my man right here, he didn't do the best job at ironing a shirt, like most men probably do. So EVOTO's got you covered. Clothes and accessory adjustment. We're going to click on that guy, and De-wrinkle Clothing. I'm just going to take the slider, bring it all the way up, and boom. Look at that. We just ironed his clothes for him. Now you have different options for like fine wrinkle, deep wrinkles, and you can adjust this all you would want, but as you can see, it does a great job. I like this one actually, clothing edge smoothing. So I'm going to drag that up, and if you look right here on his back, it will take down that like extreme harsh corners that happen when your clothes fold up a little bit, especially when you're hugging somebody else. Your clothes get a little bit of a weird fold to them, and this takes care of it just like that. Now I want to quickly take you through my process of editing an entire picture just for a wedding album. I have this image of a bride here who loved this shot. It's a very cute moment between her and her niece, but we have some things going on where we can just help her out a little bit. First, we're going to start off in blemish removal, and the first thing that I'm going to do is just work on some of these lines that exist here in her neck and on her face, just because of the way she had her head tilted. So very first thing we have is cheek wrinkles. I'm going to bring that up. It helps us out a little bit there. Neck wrinkles, we're going to remove those for her. Smile lines, we're going to go ahead and tone those down just a little bit, which is super nice for when people are cheesing just a little too hard. Eye wrinkles, she really doesn't have any in this image, so we're good there. And then I'm going to go down to skin retouching and do a little bit of that dodge and burn evening, and there we go. So let's zoom in to her face, and if I were to just show you this, you wouldn't think anything unnatural is going on, but if I show you the before compared to the after, there's a drastic difference, and look how much better that is making that image look. Now because she wants to have this picture printed and put in her wedding album, I'm okay with this level of retouching, because if you didn't see that before and after, you wouldn't know. So let's jump back into our first picture. So we actually have two pictures from the same wedding right here, where they're good, but their colors are a little bit different. And when it comes to wedding photography, the name of the game is consistency. That's what makes or breaks the difference between a good photographer and a bad photographer. If your images are edited all over the place with different style, people aren't going to really know what to expect from you. So you want to be as consistent as possible when editing your pictures. So I'm going to click on one of these pictures. We're going to go into edit, and we're going to go into multi-image color consistency and click match. It's going to go ahead and do its thing, and let's see what it comes up with for us. We're going to compare them next to each other, and look at that difference. So we use this image as our sample image, and this is the picture that it changed. So if we go into edit and you want to see the before and after, it did a pretty drastic difference, especially with that background. So if we look at them next to each other, they look way more similar in terms of the tones and the colors and everything going on in the picture. But we're not done yet. We're going to go back into our edit, and we're going to take a look at the color look. Now there's a lot of different AI color looks. Let's pick one, warm and cozy. Let's see how that looks. For this picture, it looks like it was taken at a tropical island. Very warm tones. Awesome if that's your style. Let's take a look at another one. How about olive green film? Okay, I like that. That works for me. That looks very much so like what's trending right now in the wedding industry. Looks good. So if you stuck around this far in the video, this is what I was talking about in the beginning, where we took all this magic that we've just learned about, and we're going to learn how to apply it in seconds. Let's take a look. All we're going to do is we're going to come down here and click Save Preset. Now, it automatically checks off everything that we've done to this image. We're going to save it into my YouTube group, and we're going to call YouTube Test, because it's a test that we made for you. And we're going to save it out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into this engagement picture, and we're going to click on our YouTube Test preset and let it apply everything to have a nice consistent style. Now we're going to look at these two pictures side by side, and doesn't that look like it was shot by the same photographer? Like I said, the name of the game is consistency. These pictures were shot in different locations, different times, different people. We have different lighting situations on totally different times of the year. One was in the summer, one was in the fall. So our lighting is naturally going to be different. Our factors are going to be different. But just using a preset in Lightroom is not going to give you this. That's just going to move some sliders around. This is going to use AI to take that style that you have spent time to create and apply it consistently across multiple images. And this is where the power of an AI preset really comes into play. So you want to take your presets to even another level. Let's say you do headshots and you have your preset that you love for your headshots, and you decide that you want to tether. Well, guess what? EVOTO supports tethering. Let's take a look. When we jump into our edit, over here on the right hand side, we can connect to a camera, and then we can tether directly into EVOTO, and we can apply our presets right there on the spot. Whether we are doing some sort of skin softening, blemish removal, whatever it is, you're going to magically make these people look so much better right on the spot, because you have the ability to take all of those adjustments that you like for your shots and apply it on import into EVOTO. You're not showing people just boring pictures on the back of your camera. You're showing people fully curated images where you can remove your background, you can do retouching, you can adjust color temperatures and sliders and contrast and all of that. And it's just instantly applied to those pictures. So when you're tethering, you can edit those pictures and immediately show somebody a fully retouched, fully edited image right there. Pretty cool feature. And I have one last cool feature to show you, and that is the new edition of AI culling. So I just loaded 50 images from a recent wedding that I shot during the first look. What I'm going to do is down here in the bottom right, we're going to click Start AI Culling. And if you take a look, first thing we're going to do is select the event type. It was a wedding. Then we want to tell it how many pictures do we want. I love the ability to give it an exact number. We want this many pictures, no more, no less. I love that. You don't have to keep that on, but it is an option. Then we can go into detection settings, which is really cool. We don't want closed eyes pictures? Perfect, we turn that on. Or we turn it off. Laughing. Oh, look at that. What if somebody's laughing and their eyes are closed? We could go ahead and ignore those when their eyes are closed, because people often close their eyes when they're laughing. I love that feature. And then underexpose, overexpose, blur detection, you can control the sensitivity there. And then down at the bottom we have auto tag. Auto tag is how do we want our pictures tagged. I personally always 3-star everything that is a select. I don't use colors, I don't use flags, so I have that already set up. We're going to click Start Culling. For 50 images, my estimated time was mid 40 seconds. Not bad. Less than a second of image. And we're done. Let's take a look. Over here, we're going to select the AI selection and see what EVOTO decided were the best pictures. We're going to select all of them, look at them next to each other. Let's just make all these a little bit bigger so we can see them all next to each other. There we go. There's our 15 images that it selected from our first look. And I really like the selection that it gave us. Very unique first look, by the way, where we involved the whole bridal party, just slowly revealing our bride and our groom. I thought it was very cool and something different. But look at this. It did our culling for us. Gotta love it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we're just scratching the surface with EVOTO. There's so much more to it that, depending on your needs, you might not even use any of the features that I showed you, but you can use it totally differently. There's just so much to it. And I said it in the beginning, you can go download it and use it completely for free, and you only have to pay for it when you export pictures. But using that link down below will get you 15 credits, so it'll get you started so you can start exporting some pictures. I definitely recommend just checking it out for yourself, playing with it, because there's just so much to offer that you might find a different use case for it for your own photography. Thank you so much to EVOTO for sponsoring this video and supporting this channel. I really hope that you will go check out EVOTO for yourself, because I think it is a very useful tool for any photographer. If you have any questions or comments or different ideas of how you would use it, drop it down below in the comments and I'll definitely get back to you. And until next time, peace.